Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, May 19th. Again, we're working on coordinate points on a plane. And let's get started. Our target for today, I can construct, again, there's that vocabulary word construct, to build something, to make something. I can construct coordinate points on a plane. You should have a pencil and paper ready. Our vocabulary, coordinate points. Points are an ordered set of numbers that define the position of a point. So when I say a set, that means you will have two numbers, one to represent the x-axis and one to represent the y-axis. But we'll get into that later in the lesson. Okay, fluency. Let's count by fours today. You should be a pro at this by now. Here we go. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. Okay, we are going to construct coordinate points on a plane. Okay, today we're going to learn how to create a scale, keeping our spacing equal, plotting points on our scale in your coordinate plane. This is your coordinate plane right here. When I say a coordinate plane, this means all the space that you can plot points on. And you can identify your x and your y coordinates, where they are. So to the right, again, is your coordinate plane, where you will plot your points as well as go through this lesson. Okay. So let's begin by identifying our x and our y axis. This is extremely important. Your x will always come first when you list your coordinate points as a pair or a set. And the x is side to side horizontal, and your y is always vertically up and down. So you see where I have my x and you see where I have my y. That will never change. That will always be the same. Your x will always go side to side horizontal, and your y will always go up and down vertical. Okay, so when you label them, the x will always go first and the y will always go second, as shown. So what I also have labeled here is your origin. 0, 0, or just 0. This is your origin, where the vertex meets, where that point is. That's your x. This is your y. If they ask you, if anyone says, give me the x and the y coordinates, you will go along this line first, side to side. You're going to go down, and then you're going to go up to see where your second point will be. So it will always be x. Whoops. I'm going to draw this for you, again using the draw feature. This will be my, oops, this will be my origin. This will be my x. This will be my y. Okay. Okay, let's begin with creating a scale. First, a scale is labeling the numbers on your x and your y. And how do we know how to label these? If someone wants you to label up to 100, say you're counting toys or candy pieces or anything of that matter, you don't want to have to draw or write all the numbers from 0 to 100. So we're going to make a scale. So for example, we're counting up to 10, we can use all whole numbers, counting one by one. But if we need to count to 100, then we can count by tens. It will be quicker and you can fit it on your coordinate plane. So here's how I will label it. So here's my origin, 0, 0, representing x first, y second. And then I went 10, 20, I counted by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way to 100 on my x-axis. Here's my y-axis, up and down, vertical, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on until I get to 100. Now let's plot some of these points. I want to use a different color so that you guys can really see where I'm plotting my points. The first one they're asking us is 20. This is going to be your x. This is going to be your y all the time. All the time. X goes first, y goes second. And I put them in what we call parentheses. Holds them together. Find your 20 first. So it's on the x, so you're going to go over. Always, always, you're going to go on the x first. 20. Here's my 20. My y is asking for 30. So first I go over to my 20, up to my 30. Here we go, up to my 30. And that's where I plot my point. Okay, and sometimes they'll say, label that A, label that B, whatever point they want you to. Or, right next to it, you can put 20, comma 30. In that order. It must stay in that order, because if you did it in the opposite, this point would not be here. Let's do another one. 50, comma 2. X first, then our y. So 50, come over, I'll do a different color, again using the draw feature. And I'm going to go from my 0 origin, all the time starting at your origin, always, always starting at 0. We're going to scoot over to the 50 on the x-axis, okay? And we're going up to 20. And going up to 20. Okay, right here is my, that's my 50. I went over to 50 and up to 20. Over and up, over and up. X and Y, X and Y. Okay, and let's label that one B. And let's do this last one. X again, first. If you notice, I'm repeating myself. X and Y, X and Y. It must stay in that order, X and Y. You go over and you go up. So let's change this to a different color. Let's go to red. Here we go. Over 5. Now, I counted by tens. So 5 comes before that. So I'm going to go over to my 5, which is right here. And I go up to 60. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And there it is. Okay, labeling that big so you can see it. That's my, I'm going to label that C, I said. Okay, and that's going to be 5, comma 60. Okay. Okay, let's practice together with this problem below. Remember, you always look at the x-axis first, side to side, and the y-axis vertically up and down. We are going to identify these together. Okay. Here we go. A, name the shape at each location. We're going to do A, B, C, and D. Here we go. A, we're going to find the x coordinate and the y, and then say what shape it is. So we go over 2, up to 5. I see the triangle. Okay? The next one is 1, 2. Over 1, up to where the 2 is. I see the circle. That's where I have my circle. Over 5, up 6. My square. The next one, 6, 5. Over 6, up 5, my octagon. If you notice, every single time I did this, I started at the 0, the origin, went to the right, which was on my X all the time, over and up. I went over for each X, and on the Y coordinate, I went up and down, which is vertical. Okay, let's go to B. Which shape is 2 units from the Y axis? Okay. Which shape is 2 units from the Y axis? Well, here's my Y axis. Okay, C also says which shape has an X coordinate of 0. And D, which shape is 4 units from the Y-axis and 3 units from the X-axis. Okay. So C, which shape has an X-coordinate of 0? Right here. We didn't go anywhere, correct? Okay, which shape is 4 units from the Y and 3 units from the X-axis? 3 units from the Y, 4 from the X. Okay. 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 And I skipped B, so B, 2 units from the Y-axis. This is 2 from this shape is 1, 2, and there's your Y-axis. Okay, it gets a little tricky. Always remember, though, your X goes first, your Y goes second, your over and up to find your answer. Okay, so our target, I can construct coordinate points on a plane. Remember the key things we talked about today. The coordinate plane is where you are going to plot your points. The x-axis is always listed first when listing coordinate points, horizontally, side to side, and the y-axis is always listed second, vertically, up and down. For example, x, y, 5 would be your x, 9 would be your y. So 3, this is tricky making a scale, so choose wisely when making your scale. Make it a little easier for yourself to count. You can do it by 2s, you can count by 10s. It all depends on how high you have to count with your numbers. If you need to plot points well over 100, you don't want to write all of those numbers. You might want to count by 10s instead, like we practiced. Okay. Love and miss you all, and have a great night.